Good afternoon. Another what would Clinton do? Oh my God, are you crazy? Well, I came to my mom's. She lives here in Grand Junction, Colorado, and I'm usually the one part of my family that really makes sure that little things get done. Now, I'm not saying that the people that live here are that they don't, because they do. They take care of a lot. I have a different priority. So this time, the priority was to catch up on all the wood pile. My brother-in-law got a lot of this, a lot of the elm and cottonwood. My son-in-law, Greg, and we went up last year and we got a couple big loads of quakey or aspen. So we had to bring it in. We dump it here, and then we have to cut it in. We bring it in long logs, long trailer logs, 8 foot, 6 foot to 8 foot. Then we chop it, then we put it over here on the splitter, and then we split it. From there, it goes into the wood box under the blue tarp over there. This wood box has been here for, I don't know, I think my dad built it some 30-some years ago. So, here's your wood. Now this is 21 feet long, 10 feet wide, and it's a 4-foot fence, not all the way 4 foot, but we generally have it 5 feet to 6 feet, all the way up and then down over to here. They have an opening on this side, you can see, and there's an opening on this corner. So when we got here the other day, the only wood they had was in this small corner right here. So my wife, because I had already cut a lot of it, I had it all stacked up. My wife was generous enough to come out. I started last night after we arrived, made sure the wood splitter worked. My wife and I bought a new motor. You do this too long, you get stiff. Bought another little motor. The old one caught fire. So I bought this one it was over 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And it's running like a champ. This old splitter is a 20-ton splitter. So my dad modified a few things on it, put the wedge on there, and it splits, and this motor cranks it out. But we ran out of gas. So that's where the key of we're done for the day came in. But all of this was wood all the way over to here, piled 4 feet or higher. So you can see that I had already cut a lot to length, little short ones. This is a little bit long, have to cut it in half. The stove we replaced a year ago, it has a smaller box than what this was cut for. So I've got to get all this recut, split, and in that box. So we've done almost this much right here today. Right here. This is what we still have to do. All of this. So all this has to be recut and sized. Then we'll get a split. So the next project was my mom's kitchen cabinet years ago. Had a leak and flooded the corner cabinet. So this is what happened to one of her drawers. So this had been up into here. It's been fixed over and over. It's been fixed over and over. That old pressed wood. So what I did is this morning I went and bought two, count them, 2 1x4s, 6 feet long, pine. My dad's radio alarm. We actually started talking about this today. He bought this I am 55. He bought this 42 years ago. A Black & Decker Deluxe Power Shop, and it cranks it, dude. It will cut it right up. So I'm gonna tell you funny. They wanted to do hamburgers, but all the rolled hamburger was frozen, so my mom brought it over and cut patties. But the roll of hamburger up here, shoom, 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 and cut patties. So anyway, so I've never really built a drawer. So here it is. This is the drawer. I'm taking the face off the other one. Put down here all the cuts. Once I realized how all the cuts were, I put all the cuts in. New plywood base. We're going to stain this and seal it. Okay. This is all grooved right here. This is all grooved so the plywood slides into the groove. Now, here's a funny. All of these cuts are 1/4 inch deep, like this right here. So it goes the same depth as this, down inside. Okay? Same depth all the way around. So how do you do it? You put 3 pieces together and then you slide it in, right? This was too long. I couldn't get it to seal right. So I had to keep cutting and use my dad's power saber saw. I even got a new gun today, so I could nail it together. Got my old drill back. I'm gonna make sure I take that home today. Tomorrow, Monday. So anyway, still had the old runners. Got those on, measured out. But all the cuts, every cut except for the one across the front, was done on this. All the long ways cuts, all the short cuts, raise it up, cut it in, cut it in, cut it in, cut it in, clean it out. Lengthwise cut it on. All dowels, cuts. Couple pieces of plywood left. Got her built. Got it brad nailed in. Brad nailed on the front. My mom's happy. And it actually fits. Let me show ya. Let me show ya. So hang on. I gotta go in. Oh, this is one of the other projects I had to do. I had to change all her round door handles to these flipper door handles because her arthritis in her fingers, she wasn't able to open the doors. So here we go. My mom's in here. We're gonna have homemade chicken and noodle. Watching my video. So you put the rollers in. You would never know I did it because it fits. Nothing I ever do really fits. Take it out. There's the door. So that's what Clinton would do. Had to modify, learn, overadapt, and overcome. Next project. I'm telling you, my mom always has something for me to do. It's probably going to be build her a new house here pretty soon. My uncle built this house probably 31 years ago. My dad helped build this house. Ground slowly settling. Oh, here's another project I did. All of this whole awning porch. Well, we were climbing up to fix the air conditioning. My brother-in-law put his foot right here and came through. So in one weekend, we had to redo the whole, build everything, redo all of that. And I know it don't look finished, and it really isn't. I need to put different kind of trim up, but I hadn't done it yet because we haven't done it. But we're getting ready to paint this. Also had to do all new sheet. They had shingles up there, and I put rolled tar paper instead. There's not enough flow to keep the water and ice from building underneath it. Here's the next thing. Homemade gate, welded and everything, but it's no longer functional. So my sister asked me to fix it. I had to think about it. I found 2 old posts in the junk pile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand those next to each other. I'm going to take the latch off, stand this pole right in front. I bought the clips that actually clip these together. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. I want to do it on that side and this side, and then rehang the gate. And that's the distance that I need. That will make it close properly. So that's my next project, and I will show you what that looks like when I'm done. But here's the deal. I've got to go in the house and make homemade noodles. Chicken and homemade chicken and noodles, okay? So I just want you to take a quick look around my mom's house. The shed used to house a 1948 Willys Jeep. This tree has a T-post in it to hold it up when it was little. When it was little, that's when this tree was planted. We have deer actually walk in and eat out of that bird feeder. The front yard. These are my mom's plants. Chickens, birds, grapes. She has deer that come in here. All her irises are different colors this year. That's the front yard. These trees she planted little, when they were little trees. And I have gone up in them, my daughters have gone up in them, and we got a lot of limbs to even cut back out of this one here. Dead ones, big limbs off of that tree. Cut a tree down over there and left the stump for her to make birdhouses. This is where I put my tent when I camp by myself, over on that plat there. And sometimes right here, we'll put a tent up. All the flowers, my uncle's hay bales. He hayed that one, he's grown corn over there. He got hay back in the backyard. I love coming here. This is like, you know, when you go home, this is home. It's stressful sometimes to come back, see what needs to be done, and just know that I'm going to run out of time. And sometimes, excuse me, and sometimes that happens. My uncle just turned to hay, and I have hay fever, so it starts my sinuses going. One Christmas I buried a dog, one of their favorite puppies. He had a stroke, sorry about that. So he's buried when this tree was a little tree. He's buried right over by the irises. But when I come back, there's just so much to do and no time. I go up on the mountains about 30 miles southwest from here, and I haul down the wood. We get wood cutting permits. We bring down as much as I possibly can in a couple days, and then I'll make another weekend just to come up and I just cut wood. Just cut it, block it. We got to let it dry for a little bit, and then we get in there and then we just start splitting and restacking and filling Mom's wood box. When my dad passed in 2010, it's one thing I told him, and my wife and I told him, Mom will never want. If she ever needs something, all she has to do is say, hey son, and we'll get it. We'll take care of it, Dad. And I don't know if he heard us, but we let him know that Mom will never be a need ever. And the wood is my chore to him. So, but anyway, I'm gonna close this off. I'm gonna go take that gate apart real quick. It'll take me about 15 minutes. I'll show you. I'll put another what will Clinton do here in a little bit, and the gate. And what I'll do is I'll do the final Memorial weekend at Mom's house. So this is the beginning one. We've worked hard. My grandbaby's even hauled wood in a little red wagon, and we've cranked it out. And I really appreciate my wife. She really jumped in there and run that wood splitter while I was moving logs and fixing this, fix that, run back and forth, fix that, sharpen saws, cut wood, straighten wood up, restack it. They would throw it in a big pile. I would pick it all up, get it all restacked nice and neat, you know, and lock it into places and stuff. So thanks for watching this episode of Memorial Day Weekend at Mom's. And part 1. Part 2, I'll give you an update just before we leave. Thanks, man.